Hey monsters! Thanks for tuning in to MurderMurder News, the true crime cult for the latest breaking news, murdery memes, TV reviews, podcast recommendations, and all things spooky. It's officially spooky season, and there is no better time to join a true crime cult. We're going to carve pumpkins, watch Hocus Pocus, pet some baby goats, and talk about true crime. I'm television's Aurora Katie.
And I'm your online murder friend, Angelina. Cults are no fun alone, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell all of your true crime friends. This is the Week in True Crime.
Murder, murder, news.
In case you thought that Brazilian novellas were ridiculous works of fiction, we're bringing you some Brazilian political murder scandal realness and all the true crime drama that surrounds that scandal in a story that I'm calling Flor de Lis, a true crime soap opera. Flor de Lis dos Santos de Souza, known by her fans simply as Flor de Lis, is a Brazilian congresswoman, famous gospel singer, and evangelical pastor. She and her husband, Anderson do Carmo, formed a power couple in Brazil's burgeoning evangelical Christian scene until his murder in June of last year. You can see here that just last month, on the anniversary of his death, Flor de Lis wrote this loving memorial post on her Facebook page for her late husband. Originally reported as a robbery gone wrong, Anderson's murder investigation has been reopened as some twisted new information has come to light. And amid all the gossip, we've caught a glimpse of the surreal life of Flor de Lis. Flor de Lis and Anderson met when she adopted him as a child. You heard that right, but it gets even weirder. As Anderson grew up, he developed a relationship with his adoptive sister and Flor de Lis's biological child, Simone. Anderson went from Flor de Lis's son to her son-in-law, and then when he and Simone split, he joined Flor de Lis's side as her husband, and they went on to start their own evangelical church. Anderson and Simone are just two of Flor de Lis's 55 children, 51 of which are adopted. In 1994, Flor de Lis adopted 37 children at once. She made such a name for herself with her charity work and adoptions that in 2009, a major film was released about her life, starring some of Brazil's most prominent actors. It was called Flor de Lis, It Takes But One Word to Change. All the profits from the film went directly from Flor de Lis to help her care for all of her children. Even the actors refused to take a salary. The first rumors about Flor de Lis's lifestyle that started circulating in the 90s were that she might actually be kidnapping these so-called adoptive children. But her saintly Christian woman act was just so good that the rumors only served to solidify her positive image as fans dismissed these claims as impossible. I'd like to chat about some of the other rumors that have been circulating since then, but I have to add a disclaimer. This story was incredibly hard to research, and Flor de Lis has never actually been held accountable for any of the stuff I'm about to mention. So I have to say that these aren't official facts. As this story progresses, I'm sure we will learn more about Flor de Lis's evangelical empire and be able to fact check all the creepy shit that has gone down within it. How Flor de Lis runs her family really reads more like a cult. Folks say that they have a sort of tiered system where her biological children and children that she adopted early on get preferential treatment, while the numerous children that she adopted later are fed on scraps and largely neglected. It has also been suggested that Flor de Lis lures new people to join her cult by allowing them to have sex with some of her existing children, and that she offered up sex with her children to powerful evangelical leaders from around the world when they would visit Brazil. I've read accounts that children would reach a certain status in the cult and be able to better their position in the family by submitting to sexual acts with Flor de Lis. Flor de Lis and Anderson were said to have frequented swingers parties and clubs, maybe even on the day of Anderson's murder. And rumor has it that Anderson would routinely have sex with his female adoptive siblings. As yet unconfirmed creepy sex stuff aside, those aforementioned twisted new details concerning Anderson do Carmo's murder are 100% true, and honestly not much less shocking than the rumors. Since 2018, Flor de Lis has made multiple failed attempts on her husband's life, including some botched, staged robberies and a long affair with arsenic poisoning. Several of her family members got involved, most notably Simone, Flor de Lis' biological daughter and Anderson's ex-girlfriend, as well as Flavio dos Santos Rodriguez, Flor de Lis' biological son, and adopted son Lucas Cesar dos Santos. Lucas has admitted to buying the murder weapon, a gun, which Flavio has confessed to using to administer those fatal shots to his stepfather. Anderson was shot over 30 times, mostly around the groin area, which sounds like a strange angle since we were meant to believe that that was a random attack as part of a robbery. Phones and computers have been seized and checked out, as 11 people in total have been recently implicated and arrested, including several of Flor de Lis' children and also one of her granddaughters. One daughter's Google search history actually included things like lethal poison to kill a human that's easy to buy and assassin, hitman, how to find. But that search was obviously fruitless as the family decided to take things into their own hands. Authorities suggest a motive for Anderson's murder, some financial disputes in regards to how to run the family/cult. When Anderson stepped into the role of the family's patriarch, he also took control of their finances. It seems that in recent years, he has been less supportive of the idea that certain children should receive special treatment while others are deprived. Flor de Lis explained to one of her children that divorcing Anderson wasn't an option, saying, "What am I supposed to do? I can't separate from him because that would scandalize the name of God." But in reality, her decision was probably much more financially motivated, as a divorce would lead to Anderson walking away with half of his assets and the other half being split between 55 family members. If I had to declare one fact the most whack of this entire story, it would be that Flor de Lis is not in police custody and continues to enjoy a life of liberty due to the parliamentary immunity offered by her position as a congresswoman in Brazil. That's right, Brazilian politicians actually cannot be arrested or charged with a crime unless literally caught in the act. Police have sent a copy of the investigation to Congress, complete with the evidence of the charges, in hopes that she will be stripped of her title and let go from her position, so that she no longer has immunity and can finally be arrested. Flor de Lis, in the meantime, is not just free, she's taking to the media to plead her innocence. She's playing to the religiosity of higher-ups in Congress, insisting that removing her from office would be ungodly and that the truth of her innocence will be revealed in the coming days. We're not sure how all of this is going to play out, but Flor de Lis' Christian image has gotten her this far, so we're not holding our breath for a conviction. Now, you might ask if the strange political system in Brazil might be a target for criminal minds who are after parliamentary immunity, and the answer to that question is abso-friggin-lutely. This particular scandal got some airtime because of Flor de Lis' level of fame in the gospel music community, and weirdos like us picked up on it because of the cult element. But there are countless crime-ridden scandals in the world of Brazilian politics. With a broken system that's divided into way too many parties, Brazilians have no party loyalty and often approach voting with a heavy helping of cynicism. Parties have flimsy platforms, a familiar name can be enough to earn a seat, and many people engage in protest voting, which means they vote for joke parties as a way to flip off traditional leaders. In 1959, a rhinoceros at the zoo earned the popular vote, but couldn't take office on account of not being human. 50 years later, a famous clown was elected in Sao Paulo. Her slogan, "Things can't get any worse." Brazil saw a senator shot on the Senate floor in 1962. The obvious perpetrator, Senator Arnon de Mello, was never persecuted, and in fact was re-elected twice. In the late 90s, a federal rep nicknamed Congressman Chainsaw was a high-ranking drug dealer who led a brutal death squad wherein he tortured rival dealers. In short, shit is whack in Brazilian politics. Real life is still stranger than even soap opera fiction, and we're reminded of all of this thanks to famous Flor de Lis' evangelical murder sex cult brand of politics. Here's hoping justice is served.
The body of 26-year-old Stevie Shay Wilkerson was found in western Iron County, Utah on August 23rd, and officials are now investigating her death as a homicide. According to Desert News, Stevie was last seen alive at the Claridge Inn in St. Georgia, Utah on August 9th. Just what Stevie was doing at the inn and what happened next is unclear, but on August 10th, her mother, Vanna Wilkerson, posted on Facebook about her disappearance. Vanna made a plea for help, stating her daughter had been abducted and was being held hostage by a man calling himself Joey and a woman calling herself Josie. Vanna says Stevie accidentally crossed paths with the alleged kidnappers and that they were armed and had threatened to kill her. Vanna also commented on her Facebook post on Tuesday that the police, Stevie's boyfriend, the Red Roof Inn, and the Clarigen seem to have a description of Joey and Josie, and that there might even possibly be a video of the two. She claimed that they were also wanted in other states for the same crime. It's unknown if the authorities have identified who the alleged kidnappers might be, but according to People.com, it's believed that her body had been left where it was discovered for quite some time. Stevie's family wants her to be remembered for her kindness and her love of all animals. Her investigation is ongoing and no arrests have been made at this time. If you or anyone you know has information about her disappearance or death, please contact the Iron County Sheriff's Department at the number below.
This week, we're watching The Vow on HBO. The Vow is a documentary about the NXIVM cult, which you might recall was the subject of the podcast Escaping NXIVM. The 9-episode documentary takes a dive into the sex cult led by Keith Raniere, which made headlines in 2018 when Keith and Smallville actress Allison Mack were arrested and indicted for sex trafficking. We promise this is absolutely nothing like the MurderMurder news cult. We want to hear what you think about the show in the comments below.
We are so excited to have Paige Elmore with us from Reverie True Crime. Paige tells stories about all things spine-chilling and hair-raising. From true crime to weird events, she discusses it all. Thank you so much for joining us, Paige. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am so good. It's the beginning of September. I'm not sure if you're a Halloween person, if you're at all excited about spooky season.
Oh, I am. Definitely.
It's the best time of the year.
Oh, definitely.
Honestly, your accent is so incredible. I could listen to you read anything at all.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
So what inspired you to start a true crime podcast?
Okay, do you remember the show 911?
You know, I don't really.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if that was before or after Cops. It's super old. It's super old. But my parents would always watch things like that, and as a kid, you know, I would just kind of see it here and there. And when I got older, I started watching like ID Channel and 2020 Dateline, like that whole thing. And I just got really sucked in, and I didn't even listen to podcasts before because I thought it wasn't going to be for me. But then I found out there were true crime podcasts, and I have had chronic illnesses for 13 years, and so I can't work, can't drive. Oh. So basically, for all that time, I just felt like I wasn't doing anything, and I wasn't contributing any way to society or, you know, putting anything out there in the world. So when I heard about true crime podcast, I was like, maybe, just maybe I could do this. So I kind of just jumped headfirst into it.
That's so great that you were able to find a way to make it work, even struggling with illness. Like, I know what that's like. It's terrible. So it's so great that you were able to find a way to make that work with recording and such, and you produced such an amazing show, so I'm really glad you were able to do that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do it all from my bed usually, and
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sad that you're going through that. I've recently also been dealing with some sort of chronic problems. Mine's a bit shorter term, like since the beginning of the year. But I also have been doing a lot of like my work and a lot of my research and stuff from bed. And I actually recorded an episode with Esther Ludlow from her new show, Let's Talk About True Crime.
Oh my gosh, love her.
Yeah, she's so amazing. I love her so much. And the day that she wanted to record was a really bad pain day for me. But I love Esther so much. I was like, I'm not rescheduling with Esther Ludlow. I'm certainly not going to say no. It's like I set up my microphone on a tray, like in front of me in bed. And I'm like, I have like my muscle relaxers and I have whatever. And I was like, just doing it.
Gosh, that's so awesome. But I'm so sorry that you're going through health problems. It's just no fun, no fun.
It's so trying, and I'm so impressed that you're able to push through and make such an amazing show where you're not feeling well. Like, that's absolutely incredible. And can I ask, Paige, what is it that got you into true crime in the first place? What is your true crime origin?
Well, I guess when I was in high school is when I started to get really curious about, like, I guess the start of it was Charles Manson, Jeffrey Dahmer, and the internet had come out in like 1999, and I think it was around that time I was in junior high when the internet started to be a thing, and it might have been junior high, high school, where I started just really researching things that I probably shouldn't have, because I was like, whoa. But it intrigued me so much, these stories, and I just couldn't believe what I was reading at the time, and I was just like, whoa, this is really intriguing and fascinating in a morbid way, I guess.
Right.
You know, it's just the victims of this is what really got me, because when I read stories and do this research, I always get really emotionally invested in the victim and just thinking, like, getting way into my head about what they went through. It's unimaginable.
So, Paige, I really love how well you represent survivors and victims on your show. And recently you actually had a couple of survivors. You had Kathy Kleiner, who's a survivor of Ted Bundy and his attack on the Chi Omega sorority house. You also had David Thibodeau, who was a survivor of Waco. And both of those episodes are so fantastic. Everybody, please go check those out. And Paige, out of all of the cases you've covered, out of all the episodes you've had, which cases have been your favorite to research and present?
On the research side of things, I would say Dennis Nielsen was a really strange one and a really tough one to do. And I will tell you, though, when I was researching the Elisa Lam case, that one haunted me at night. I seriously had trouble sleeping after researching that. So outside of interviews that have been my favorite, that one is kind of a favorite in a weird way, because it was the first one I had ever done that truly just haunted me, and it definitely left a mark on what I was doing. So
yeah, that one's a really engaging one. And I know a lot of people really spend a lot of time thinking about the John Bonet case or the Zodiac, but honestly, like, I feel like the Elisa Lam case is one of the ones that really spins my wheels the most. Like, there's just something missing. Like, there's so many mysterious components to the story. Like, I don't know. Can I ask what you think your theory is, your current theory?
You know, it's hard for me to know whether... Okay, I have like two. There's two that I'm really torn. You know, in a lot of cases, they do mess with the videotapes. That's not an uncommon thing, unfortunately, for police and people at the hotels to sometimes mess with the audio tapes, so or the video cameras. And I'm really wondering if something was taken out, because it all just seemed so strange. It just felt like it was someone else there that they may have cut out, but either someone threw her in there, or maybe her mental illness was just so bad that she just wasn't in the right state of mind and just fell in. I don't know. It's something that I definitely think about a lot, and I just wish we knew. I really do. I wish we knew what happened.
Yeah, I so agree. I'm kind of a fan of the elevator game theory.
Yes, that too.
There's some really fascinating, there's like the ghost, the Richard Ramirez ghost theory. Like there's so many, that one just has like so many avenues to go down, and I love going down every single one of them.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Well, Paige, it's been such a pleasure having you today. Can you let our viewers know where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, Twitter is Reverie Crime Pod, and Instagram is Reverie True Crime. If anyone wants to send an email to suggest a case or anything haunting, or anything you want me to look into, that's reverietruecrime@gmail.com.
Great. And don't forget to subscribe to Reverie True Crime wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a single episode.
We are having a big giveaway, and you could win a big basket of murder merch just for registering at the MurderMurder.news commune. Aurora is modeling our MurderMurder News tote bag and t-shirt, a killer necklace from Forensic Miles, and Good Wine and True Crime sticker from Lacey Olson. Also included in our giveaway are this Talk Murder to Me mug from Mug Matters Studio, a Stay Spooky shirt in any size you like from Stay Lucky Boutique, this Son of a Witch zip pouch from DeKaylee Shop. All of this awesome murder merch is worth over $150 with no purchase necessary. All you have to do is go on to MurderMurder.news to register your account and let us shower you with true crime presents. We will have 2 winners, one in the US and one in Canada, and we will announce the winners live on our channel in October. We love reading your comments, so long as you aren't a troll, and we wanted to thank Cold Brew Barbie for commenting that she had been wondering what happened with the TikTok update. She was so disturbed by the whole story.
Thank you to Carrie and Barry Vlogs for commenting that she loves that the 3rd co-host of 3 Spook Girls is a spirit.
Thanks so much for tuning into This Week in True Crime with MurderMurder News. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button below, give us a thumbs up, and tell all of your true crime friends.
If you just can't get enough true crime, join our commune at MurderMurder.news for our monster book club and cold case solving groups. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. See you next week.
Murder, murder,